The announcement on the last night as we are recording is Dynamite, which we will talk about on the experience this weekend. Tony Khan's big announcement this week.
The big announcement of this week, the weekly big announcement. And yes, we are going to save the rest of Dynamite from Wednesday night. I believe it was the 31st of May. We're going to save that for the experience because we're going to have time to digest it. Potentially have some Pepto-Bismol and maybe get that aftertaste down. But the newsworthy thing of the program was Tony. He had announced another announcement.
Thanks, guys.
And there we were. There he was on the announcement set, the bridge of the Starship announcement. And he's, again, they have found the way to make Tony look palatable on television in terms of they're telepromptering him, they're toning him down, they're turning it at just the speed he should read. He's being pleasant. He's not hopping about and vibrating. But obviously, in the last 7 days, since they tried to fuck Punk around the last time and Steel too, Ace Steel, they have apparently now come to some type of agreement. We have not heard that Ace Steel will be coming to Collision as he apparently was supposed to, or that they thought he was going to be when they hired him back apparently months ago. But since that was what queered the fucking deal last week, with Punk finding this out apparently at the last minute. And so now they've had a week to talk about who knows what they did. Maybe they gave Ace another raise on the job that they're paying him for, but won't let him come to work to do. Because Tony is like that. He doesn't want anybody to be mad at him or to yell at him.
He'll pay them just not to be mad at him? I'm so mad at Tony Khan. Yes. I hate you.
That's Tony what Khan. I'm saying. He figures if he just sends somebody a check or gives them a job or pays them or whatever, but he doesn't give them bad news, or he doesn't make them mad, or he doesn't give them any information whatsoever, communicate in any way. He just, as long as they're getting their check, in his mind, he's not mistreating them when he won't talk to them or he won't honor the rest of his commitments, or they just disappear and they don't know what the fuck's going on. Because he not only can't be confrontational, he can't even fucking walk up to you face to face unless there's a big smile on your face he can see from miles away, apparently. But anyway, so in the 7 days between then and then, he talked Punk into coming back to Chicago, even though that they have again now lied to him on numerous occasions and screwed up deals at the last minute several times. So Punk will be a part of the new Collision series on Saturday night, first episode June 17th from the United Center in Chicago. And if you noticed when they announced it in San Diego, California, or when Tony announced it, CM Punk, and then they came back to the announcers and into the live arena where Taz said, "Like Mussolini." The reaction was mixed from the crowd, as we knew it was going to be. But again, this actually hearing it, some people cheered and got a CM Punk chant going on. Other people went, ooh, and then when the CM Punk chant started getting loud, they tried to chime in with the boos to compete with that. But what these fucking mental midgets, these goddamn microscopic nitwits have managed to do over the course of this last 9 months, I'm talking about Tony Khan, I'm talking about all of the EVPs and their various stooges, the Cutlets and the Nakazawas, Oil Boy, and I'm talking about, we can't leave out of the equation Tony Khan's legal team, which, good God. I mean, if I had Tony Khan's legal brain trust representing me, I'd be in prison right now for the Manson murders. So all of these nitwits have managed to create a situation over the past 9 months where not only have they alienated their top star, their biggest name, the guy that proved to be a bigger draw than anybody else, CM Punk, they have made him not trust anything that they say from anybody in the company. They have lost the use of their biggest drawing card because I assume he's probably been cleared from a torn, was it a bicep or a pec? Now I'm trying to remember.
I thought it was tricep.
Tricep, one of those arm things. It's been 9 months. He could have had a baby. He's probably okay by now. He could have come back earlier. But these whiny-ass little fucking romper room bitches and their whininess about they're working for everybody's supposed to be friends here. He doesn't like us. He's going to talk mean to us, so he's a cancer. Trying to screw the deal up has deprived the company of their biggest draw. And now when they do announce he's coming back, they've managed to poison a significant portion of the fan base against him, which is what the EVPs were trying to do to begin with, because they were upset that he was more over and a bigger attraction than they were, and also a better wrestler and a better promo. He was showing them up at every metric. They didn't want him around. They were trying to put the mouth on him behind his back, and he finally, when Tony wouldn't do anything about it, came out and aired it out at the press scrum. Said, all you motherfuckers are slandering me behind my back. You hangnail, you little prick, you went into business for yourself on live TV with me for your fucking silliness over being a friend of Colt fucking Cabanas. Like he could be an aluminum siding salesman, could fill Cabana's role in professional wrestling. And Punk airs it out, and then they take him up on his invitation to come in and have a fight, and they get their ass kicked, and then they're pissed about that. And here we are 9 months later. Now they have managed to poison a significant amount of the fan base against Punk by all this fucking falderall that he's the problem. And that has cost and will continue to cost Tony Khan all kinds of fucking money. Because they can't sell the tickets, they can't draw the money, they can't attract the viewers, and they can't sell the merchandise that CM Punk can. A real star with a real name from when people actually watched wrestling to some extent, instead of what we got going on now, which is a bunch of kids jacking themselves off and playing sticky finger with each other on a billionaire's fucking dime. So that's where we're at.
Now that we've seen a couple of examples, I mean, when they announced Chicago, everyone kind of thought that meant Punk, obviously. We've seen the crowd's reaction a couple times. Now that you got what appears to be a mixed reaction, and different cities will have different reactions, do you play into that? I mean, Punk was great as a veteran babyface who hasn't wrestled in several years. Like, that character returning was great last year, but there were always those moments where he very easily could have been heel. And it works either way for him. So what do you do now to play into this?
Well, he's going to be simultaneously the biggest babyface and the biggest heel in the company, because the people that are prone to like him are going to be so happy he's back. And the people who are prone to like Punk also don't like the fucking buckaroos or the buckaroo fans or the fucking whole bunch of fucking pussies. So they're going to be louder to try to drown out the fucking neckbeards and the cosplayers. And conversely, those people are also offended because look at Punk. He's had pussy before. Fuck him. So they hate Punk. So they're going to try to be loud. So, and Punk is the best promo in the company. And I saw some people will say MJF. MJF's a great orator. Punk is the most experienced best promo in the company. And he's going to be able to fucking take each section of those people, whichever direction he wants. But the problem is it didn't necessarily need to be this way, that he would be the hottest babyface and the hottest heel at the same time. He could have just been the hottest babyface, and it might have been better for business. But he will turn whatever this is into something he can work with, but it's through no fault of the EVPs and the legal team that he's going to be able to come out of this and still be over. They were trying to cut his nuts off, but they just weren't good enough at it. But they cost Tony Khan some money in the process, a lot of money.
And what do you think about this return all happening on Collision? A new night, Saturday, a brand new show, as opposed to the established Dynamite. Any thoughts on that?
Well, again, first of all, I saw on the internet this morning that they don't have the United Center set up for a full capacity. It's like set up for half a building. So already they've dicked around and they've taken the edge off of it. And maybe I'm sure they could probably open it up if they sell the tickets. I understand they moved like 500 in the 12 hours after Punk's name was announced or some figure like that. They got a ways to go there, but they're not selling 500 tickets in 12 hours anywhere else except anywhere else in the United States. And they're not even doing that at Wembley anymore because they already did it. They're plateaued there. So it means something, but they've dicked around and they've obfuscated the issue and they've waited until 17 days beforehand and they've had a bunch of shows in Chicago. So as far as the live gate, if they'd have had this buttoned down for the big network upfront announcement and there wasn't any doubt about it at all, they probably could have done better on the live gate. As far as the television show, I mean, unless you're going to put Punk out there to wrestle for 20 minutes and talk for an hour and 40 minutes, it's still got to have the rest of the AEW talent, and apparently not all of them. So we've got a show with part AEW talent and CM Punk. And is Punk going to write this thing? I haven't heard that. In which case, if it's more Tony Khan effluvia, then it's going to be Punk doing a good segment or two on a show that looks like Wednesday night, but not with all the talent. So I can't be excited unless there's going to be a new look and a new presentation and new creative and possibly people being serious and take the children off my television program. But I can't be excited I'm excited Punk's coming back so we can see that once a week, but goddamn, what's he going to do for 2 fucking hours?
One last question on all this. When CM Punk first came to AEW, it was rumored, it was presumed, they announced a show in Chicago, The First Dance, never announced him, and there he was. It almost seemed like they were going down the same road here. Everyone knew he was going to be there. They called it The Second Coming, all these things, but this time they're announcing him. Do you think that's anything other than ticket sales issues?
I don't know. See, here's the problem. The problem is that they never follow through with their original idea in full without significant alteration, because in that company, there's always somebody that has an aggravation or an altercation or a whatever with somebody else and screws the thing up at the last minute. If it had been me, would have announced at the network upfronts and the same day on the program, everything. Collision, brand new show, 2 hours, Saturday night, debuts at the United Center in Chicago for The Second Coming, featuring the return of CM Punk. The reason why he's returning is because he's been hurt. He got hurt in his last AEW match and he had surgery. And now he's come, so that fits The Second Coming for the people who aren't smart about all the behind the scenes shenanigans, since they have yet to ever explain anything that happened on their television program, including even a kayfabe reason, as the kids say.
He was the world champion, remember?
Of course he was. They announced the next week the world championship and the world six-man belts have been declared vacant, and those guys have been suspended. They did announce the suspension, right?
Actually, I don't recall. No, I don't recall if they did.
No, they just said the belts are vacant. We're going to find new champions. That's where we left it in September. If you don't get on the internet, you just watch the television program and you expect it to make sense. So he's got to come back remarking about what happened to him the last time that he was in the company. He won the world title and got injured, was off and had surgery. Now he's back. However much more detail that he wants to go into or that he'll be allowed to go into, without ruffling the feathers of the Pussy Brigade, it would be good if he could tie in some real life heat to that. Because to be honest, nobody ever said that the tricep that he tore was completely torn before the fight, the legitimate fight he was in, rather than the fake one with the plumber. Sure, if he got hurt in the ring, that's one thing, but now you're in a legitimate, real fight with a torn tricep? Could it have been just a small injury and then that made it worse? So why not say that? These motherfuckers don't like what I say. They don't like what I do. So they came to my locker room and I kicked the shit out of them. But in the process, I aggravated the injury that I'd gotten in the match. And I've been out with surgery and rehabilitation. And now I'm back. And I'm ready to take on any of those fuckers, either in the ring or in my locker room, if they want to come back there again. And that would get a standing ovation from half the crowd, and the other half would be pulling out switchblades and pitchforks.
And based on how his first year went, and all the drama that really eats up the entire second year, really, if you think about it, it was the first year on TV, the second year was all the drama off TV.
Right.
Here's the third year, based on the audience reaction, based on his track record on the show, based on all the drama. How are you not going to want to see every single time this guy's on TV unless they do something to screw that up? He's the most intriguing guy there. You never know what's going to happen in one of his promos. What's he going to say? Who's he going to piss off? Is anyone that he's pissed off going to do anything about it? Who's he going to feud with? How long is he going to stay face? Can he be a face or a heel in this town? Every single time, like right now, yeah, I'm so intrigued to see where they're going to go with anything with him. They've got a chance. They've blown their chance with almost everyone else with me, but they've got another chance, and I'm really intrigued by this.
And you're a prognosticator. You've been doing good on predictions. I'm going to make a prediction. I don't know. There may be a chance in hell that you would see Punk in the ring at some point with old Twinkle Toes. But I guarantee you, even though there's money to be made for the company that they supposedly helped start, and they've drained plenty of money off their billionaire boyfriend, but you will never see Maddie or Nikki have the guts or the nuts, either one, to get in the ring with Punk, even though there would be money made off of that because of the issue, because they're scared. And also, they know that their boss won't make them attempt to make any of the money back that he's paid them for little to nothing and causing trouble.
That they cost him by storming into the locker room.
Yes. They can make him some of that back, but they won't because they're scared. I think Kenny would probably get in the ring with him, and I think Punk would probably have too much compassion to just kick the shit out of Kenny, because that would be like beating up a puppy. He doesn't even know what the fuck's going on around him.
Hey, listen, say what you want about Omega, and you have many, many, many times.
Yes.
But after everything happened at All Out, we talked on the air, my reporting, that night, Kenny Omega was the one talking to CM Punk. Chris Jericho was yelling after the fact, trying to make a scene. The Bucks were screaming at Punk and Ace Steel, but that was more childish shit from the Bucks. But Punk and Omega came together, and it wasn't, another layer of the fight. It was almost trying to soothe things down. So when you say you could see them in the ring, I agree with you. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's the only one of those options that would happen. I predicted after All Out, there would be two people gone from the company. Ace Steel, and he was gone. Now they brought him back. And Kenny Omega, based on a number of things. We'll see what happens. Again, the other thing is, we'll see how much longer the Elite are in AEW. We have to see what happens there.
Well, I don't really think they ought to be packing their bags, because whatever contractually time is left on Punk's deal, you know as well as I do, he's just rolling his eyes, holding his nose, cashing his 7-figure checks per year, and going to finish that out, and then have a 2-year run up north in the WWE, make several more $1 million, and say, fuck it, at least I ended on a high note instead of with the idiots over there in the Outlaw group. That's exactly what he's going to fucking do. And I don't blame him. That's what he should do.
Well, that is it. That's CM Punk, and we'll see how he mixes in now with the mud line over at AEW. But Jim, with that, this drive-thru is finally closed.